Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a laptop review with my good friend Alan. He's going to be talking about the laptop. It's going to be the Acer Nitro5 with the Intel CPU. This has actually been purchased for someone else, but we're going to get it out of the box, go through the specs and compare it to the alternatives available. So I will now hand over to my good friend Alan.
Right, so what we've got here is an Acer Nitro5. It's based on the Intel chipset. It's an i5 8300H and it has 8GB of RAM. It's sporting a GTX 1050 4GB version. There are other options in the range, one of which is a Ryzen chipset, and that Ryzen chipset is based around a Ryzen 5 2500U processor, again 8GB of RAM, and both of which sport 1TB hard disk drive. That's just the old mechanical type, no SSDs for this at the moment, but we are looking at entry-level gaming for these actual laptops. Now the graphics card in the Ryzen version of this is an RX 560X, and that's 4GB as well. Both of which have got time spy scores. The Ryzen has a time spy score of 1962, and the version that we've got here has a time spy score of 1879. Both have a full
lower.
Both have a full HD display, and there's a number of people with various YouTube channels that have reviewed these particular models, mainly the Intel i5 version of this, and they said that the actual screen is particularly good, particularly bright, and it does the job really well, which some of the earlier versions of this didn't fare particularly well. So that was the reason to come to this actual laptop. And what I'm going to do, hopefully, is talk you through some of the reasons for the decision to buy this particular laptop against others, and what it's going to be used for, and then draw some conclusions from that. Okay?
Right, well, just getting it powered up, it's actually got, even though it's only a hard disk drive, not an SSD, it has actually got into Windows relatively quickly. I do like the keyboard on this, backlit in red, so it matches the accents on the rest of the laptop. It does actually say it's a full 1080 HD screen as well. 8th gen i5 sticker on it. So, let's let it get into Windows. Come on.
It has a nice sort of graphite, carbon fibre look to it.
You want to type in?
I'll pop in. So we can get into Windows.
Right. So, it's actually quite
not
bad desktop as well.
Yeah, this actual PC has been bought for a family member as an entry-level gaming laptop, so that it can do a bit of gaming on World of Warcraft, Minecraft. He's only a young man, and anything else that comes across, Hearthstone, that sort of stuff. More than capable at this sort of spec. More than capable of doing all that, and certainly will future-proof it, if there is such a thing. Future-proof him for the next 2, possibly 3 years, given his level of gaming.
I would say, unless there's a massive leap in system requirements for games like World of Warcraft, which is, I think, is probably his main game, unless there's a massive leap in system requirements, then this will probably do him for 5 or 6 years. Bearing in mind, obviously, this is a multi-core CPU, and Blizzard are currently working on rewriting the game engine to utilise multi-core CPUs as well.
Yes.
So this will become more and more powerful as the game engine gets rewritten, which will make the gaming experience even better.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to be doing primarily is talking about the journey of buying this particular laptop, the reasons for it, and some of the things that I learned on the way through the purchasing. We've obviously just come away from Cyber Monday and the Black Friday sales, and some of the pricing changes throughout that, and I just want to give my views on what's happened there, and then we can go then into fully reviewing the actual laptop itself. So what I'd like to talk about, Rob, is the 2 different versions that we've got here, and I'm using Curry's PC World website as a an example. This was where I was able to find it the cheapest at the time of purchase, which was a number of weeks ago. And this particular version, the i5 version of this Acer Nitro5, was coming in at £649. Coming up to the Black Friday sales, it did actually, I didn't think it was going to drop down because they went out of stock, and I wondered whether it was a revision of the actual model close to Christmas, which was probably a bit naive of myself. It dropped down another £20, £30. It went down to about £629. The Ryzen version of this went down to £599 during the Black Friday sales. What a bargain that was.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and the reason for the purchase of this particular one was the NVIDIA chipset. It would marry up quite well with an NVIDIA Shield that we have, and the very small Lampites that we're going to do. It would just work well, given his needs. So that was the reason for that purchase. There is a slightly different version that uses a 16GB Intel Optane memory solution. And that was the only one that was available at the time of purchase until I waited a couple more days and bought this. And I was quite glad that I bought it when I did. Saving another £30 was neither here nor there. It was the model that I decided to get for him.
Bearing in mind, obviously, with Black Friday, stuff goes out of stock really quick. So paying that extra £20, £30, guaranteed being able to get the laptop. Yeah,
and a number of purchases at that time, Rob, that I was looking at that I should have bought as well. But I'm so glad that I made this purchase. As of today, looking at the actual website, and this particular version is now £699. It's proved very popular, and the Ryzen 5 version of this is £649. Again, I still think that's a bargain in the run up to Christmas.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that 2500U processor and the Ryzen RX, the Radeon RX 560 graphics, which are superb graphics. I mean, that's why it's got a better time slice score than the Intel version that we're reviewing today, purely because it's an AMD chip with AMD graphics, whereas with this one they've put NVIDIA chip graphics with an Intel CPU, and they don't have the perfect marriage that AMD graphics and CPUs have together. And also with the Ryzen 5 2500U, that is, I think that's actually got, if I'm correct, 2 more cores and 4 more threads than the Intel i5.
We'll put that in the comments.
I think we'll double check that. We'll put it in the comments below. Put a comment in the down below if you think we're wrong. But we'll do our research and put comments on that one down below.
I think for this price point, this machine is outstanding value for money. To get these sort of specs, I was looking at about £750, £800, which was out of the league for this particular person. It's an entry-level laptop, but you can't buy half of a gaming laptop. You need to get in at the right sort of price. It needs to be as cheap as possible without making any concessions, and this did it. There are other options out there, lots of really good brands. I particularly use 2-year-old Dell, which at the time, again, hit that sweet spot for pricing. Particularly good build. The build on this we yet to have a look at. It looks great at the moment, and the availability to expand on this was particularly good. So some of the key points for me further down the line, which we've expanded on.
We've already expanded.
Put some SSDs in there. Now the actual version that we've got here doesn't have any SSD, but there are versions that come with SSD, namely a 128 gig SSD along with the 1 TB.
Is that NVMe or a SATA one?
Do you know, I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure. It could be. I think it is an NVMe. But then when you start getting into the realms of that, there are other options. Dell, Gigabyte, MSI, other options around there, and some of the looks and the clean lines of those might be particular to your taste. I just think that this hits the sweet spot as an entry level laptop,
definitely.
And I don't think anything else.
And especially at the price point. I mean, basically you pay for this what the Ryzen one costs now from the same source. That's obviously at current costs, save £50 on the current cost of this machine at the time you bought it. And you know, £50 if he's playing World of Warcraft, £50 that's 5 months subscriptions
Yeah, of course.
that we've saved them. So.
I think the beauty of this is that some of the things that did it for me when I was looking at it. Yes, sweet spot price wise. It's a nice looking laptop. It's not too flashy. It's not too flashy. It looks the part. We'll have a look at the build quality. Does it feel good tactile wise?
Yeah, I mean it's a nice keyboard. You get a nice response from the feel of the keys, but it's not super clicky like some cheaper laptop keyboards can be. Sometimes you know it can feel like an old 1980s keyboard. Click 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 click. But it's nice and soft, but it's a nice response.
I think the other thing there is at this sort of price range, there tends to be concessions made. I don't see that.
No.
I don't see that.
I mean,
certainly, the normal place to make those concessions is the screen, and there's been some good reviews from a lot of notable YouTube bloggers that mention that the screen is particularly good. And again, when you put it up against something like a £1,300 laptop, then I'm sure it'll show its faults. But at this price range, I think it's exceptional. All-rounder.
Yeah, I mean obviously this screen on this is just a 1080 screen, so you're not going to get 1440p or 4K gaming on this screen. But for the size of the screen, the price point, a full 1080p, not just a 720 HD ready screen, but a full 1080p screen is actually very, very good. And I mean looking at it, you've got an extremely wide viewing angle as well.
There's an IPS screen.
Yeah, so I mean I can go to kind of that angle and I can still see the picture on the screen with no image tearing of the colours.
I think that was where the concessions were made previously for a lot of gaming laptops at this level. My Dell, when I first bought it, people were not sure on the TN display, but it does me admirably. I'm never far away from it anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah.
First impressions.
First impressions for me, considering this is the first time I've actually seen the laptop, it's well worth the money that was paid for it. If I had money, I would buy one myself because I'd love to have a laptop just for doing my YouTube channel and stuff, for having to the side of me for doing reference and stuff. Like I say, the keyboard is lovely. The trackpad is nice and responsive, nice and smooth. I mean the buttons, there's no marked off area for your left and right mouse buttons on the trackpad. It's one's continuous plate and you just know that the buttons are there in the bottom left and the bottom right hand corner. So you've got no breakup of that, so it's a nice and clean trackpad area. The WASD buttons are highlighted extra red for your gaming, which is really, really nice. And the actual power button is integrated into the rest of the keyboard, and again it's backlit, so it looks like it's part of the keyboard, not a separate button stuck off somewhere in the side of the chassis to power the laptop on and off. So it looks really clean. There's no extra buttons anywhere that don't need to be anywhere. So you know, just from an opening it up and switching it on standpoint, it's a really nice looking clean laptop. So yeah. So right, I'll power this down. We'll just go into what ports are available on it. So on this side we have LAN port, we have a USB 3.1 Type C, HDMI, USB 2.0, and we have an SD card reader down this side. And down this side obviously we've got the power, and then we have two USB 2.0s and a headphone jack. So you can game in silence without annoying those around.
On the same side as the USB, but you could, if you were using a gaming mouse or a wireless mouse, preferable. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. But yeah, very weird. I mean, nice and sleek. You got little speakers are actually in the vents down the front.
I think you'll find that they are made to look like speakers, and the actual speakers are underneath here. Yes.
Okay. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So bit of a misnomer there, but it does make it look functionally like they are speakers, but they are actually on the underside, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So when
turn
we're looking at the
turn
other side
laptop
as
around.
well, you can see the 2 speaker
Just
vents, I suppose, for want of a better term.
Yeah. Speaker openings there. So obviously we have the opening here where the hard drive goes in. So should in years to come it need a bigger hard drive, it's a simple single screw. Off comes the cover plate. Replace the hard drive. I'm not sure what would be under that plate, and I'm not prepared to take the cover off now to find out what it is.
M2 port would be my guess, or possibly no, it will be the RAM.
Yes,
It'll be for the RAM.
It'll be for the RAM to
M2
expand
possibly
the RAM.
within the.
Yeah, M.2 slot possibly within the chassis, which would mean taking the entire cover off, which very unusual to have to take things. Normally, a hard drive cover would be covering any ports for hard drive, like it was on your laptop.
That was particularly good at the time.
Yeah.
One screw, bottom comes off, access to everything. Particularly good move on Dell's part.
Yes. So, yeah, very, very good laptop, especially for the price point. I can't find a fault with it myself.
There are, as I say, better graphics cards for this 1050 Ti. Is notably much better, but we get quite a leap up in price. And there are other options around about that price point in other manufacturers, and I think it's then down to your personal preference. And do you want an MSI gaming laptop against an Acer laptop? Are you used to? Where do you come from? Are you camp blue? Are you camp red?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can weigh up there. I think the whole point of this was to tell you about the journey of my purchasing of this for a family member, and then what I came to realise as I was purchasing it, that the differences in prices and whatnot, and I think it still nails it. So I'm quite happy that I made a really good purchase for him, and hopefully you can then go on and make your own decisions as to what sort of purchase you would do. Maybe you would want to go for the slightly better 1050 Ti. Sometimes it's just better to have hands-on feel and go and with this be armed when you go and have a look at a number of options in the likes of a computer shop, and you've got your ammunition, your information, and a bit of research from somebody else to make those informed choices.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, research is key. Especially when you're looking at laptops. When you're building a desktop, as you've seen with other of my videos, then you can chop and shop between different manufacturers so you can get the best price to performance part for your build. When it comes to a laptop, it's already built. You've got to make sure that what you get is suitable for your requirements.
And you have that growth.
And expandability. How long is it going to last for what you want to do with it? Like I say, I reckon this will do 5 or 6 years with the revisions they're making on World of Warcraft because of the multi-core CPU, the multi-threading that the new game engine is going to utilise, especially with obviously also the upcoming patch to fully utilise DX12 in World of Warcraft as well, which this graphics card will trounce all over.
Well, let's talk about the upgrade path for this. So you've essentially got a mechanical drive as your storage. 8 gigabytes can be expanded to 16, I believe. You can also put an M2 SSD in there. Again, you'd have to take the bottom off and get to the chassis. But you could quite simply just replace the 2.5 drive as an SSD. But you've still got, and then a number of years down the line, depending on what you do, you could have the M2 and a 2.5 SSD. So you've still got room for growth.
Yes. An SSD would. This is fast enough already to get to the login screen for Windows. If that was to be an NVMe PCIe M.2 drive, it would probably take a third of the time. If it was just a 2.5-inch SATA SSD, it would still probably cut the time down by half or so.
Yes.
And the beauty of it is, with SSD technology now, one of my main suppliers that I buy a lot of stuff from, they actually keep 4 terabyte 2.5-inch SSDs in stock. if one of those was to go in this, you'd never need to upgrade the PC again.
No, no.
4 terabyte hard drive would just...
We had fantastic gains just moving from the original hybrid 1 terabyte drive with this particular model, the Dell.
Yeah, just moving it over to an M.2 SATA, which isn't as fast as a NVMe PCIe drive, because obviously that uses the super fast PCIe lanes rather than the 6 gigabit per second SATA lanes. So that made a massive improvement on that. On this, if it does have an M.2 slot, which I think it should have, given, even though it is kind of entry level, it should still have an M.2 slot, even if it's only SATA. But it will make a massive improvement to the performance. Not that you use it for storing your games and stuff on, you use it for your OS and stuff like that. But
well, it does. One version of this comes with a 128 SSD
which would be
a 1 terabyte
yeah.
mechanical drive.
Yeah.
Now, I think another thing that's just occurred to me is for the type of person, tell us in the comments below, for the type of person that's going to buy this, it's going to be an entry-level gaming laptop that you're not going to want to, it's going to be a serious investment for someone.
Oh yeah.
A serious investment.
Definitely.
Not everybody can afford 28 Ti's, and most of us as normal people, common folk, money has to be judiciously dispersed across whatever IT you've got, whether it be your Alexas, your laptops, and gaming PCs and whatnot. And it's a serious investment for a lot of people. So you want to know that you're going to be able to continue with this without having to sort of like bin it almost with laptops, because unlike a great deal of the standard PC setups that people have, you can add to and take from, in many ways. Laptops, you have its form, and you have to have think about a certain amount of upgrade later on, but after so long, that's it.
Exactly.
It doesn't have as much shelf life.
It does have, for want of a better word, it has a finite lifespan.
As does anything, but
whereas obviously with the PC, as Alan mentioned, like with graphics cards, you can upgrade your graphics cards, you can upgrade your CPU, you can upgrade your hard drives, you can upgrade your power supply if you put a much more powerful graphics card in that requires a lot of PCIe power. So all those are upgradable paths. Whereas, like I say, with a laptop, really pretty much with most laptops, your upgrade paths are your RAM and your storage, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, it is a case of it's a new machine at some point. But with the upgrade paths that this has available to it, and for his age, this, like I say, 5 or 6 years at least this should last, if not longer. But that's to be seen in the future, to see how long the performance equates to what he needs.
Yeah. I think even in the very near future, he's going to be experimenting with YouTube as well. So this is a little bit of streaming, a little bit of Twitch streaming perhaps.
Oh, that's one thing we didn't mention. He can stream off of this because it does have a built-in webcam as well and a built-in mic, so he can stream straight from his laptop whenever.
I think that's pretty much covered off the reasons for the purchase and its upgrade path. I think it seems to be a solid choice for an entry-level gaming laptop. As I say, I make no bones about it. You can't buy half of a gaming laptop.
No.
You need to invest. For some people, a serious amount of money. Other people might not see it as a lot of money. But I think for somebody that's wanted to get into gaming and do that on a laptop, this is a serious contender for that. I think it hits all the right points for me.
Yes, definitely. So there we have it, folks. A review of the Acer Nitro with the Intel Core i5 CPU. It's an 8th gen i5, by the way. Please give us your views in the comments below. If you think we've missed anything out, let us know. We'll try and hit it up in the next video. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.